What's going on out there, good people? It is your boy Look Around with LMD Trading, coming at you today with a quick video I wanted to put out there. Hopefully, kind of strike up some conversation on what the market is doing. Sitting here on a Saturday evening, just doing some reviews of charts, doing some studying, and pulled up the SPY because it is an ETF that I do trade options on daily, and noticed a couple of things that kind of caught my attention Thursday and Friday. So just doing a little more reviewing on it, kind of breaking it down a little bit more, and curious to get some of you all's thoughts on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the chart up, and I'll go ahead and just kind of discuss my thoughts on it. So we'll go ahead and pull it up. The charts that I'll be paying attention to is the daily chart and the weekly chart. And we'll first start here with the daily chart. If we look at the daily chart, I have a couple of channels put on here. And if you see, initially I just had the wide channel because that's where this thing started at back in, what was that? That's November of 2020. That was pretty much the first point where it started and came up. And since, or from November up until, what is that, September 2021, it had been trading in that upper region of the channel. And then we come here to October of 21, and it finally came back down and tested that area that it had created a year ago. And then from October up until, what is that, the 13th, so first part of January, it had been trading in the lower part of that channel. And then we come up to this week, and this thing finally broke out of that channel. So if we just go back to on the daily, and we just go back to here, that was October. So from October, it had been trading in that channel. So finally broke it. If we look also, just based on this channel, the 200 had been spaced out fairly evenly up until we got to about right here. And then we see that that 200 started kind of pulling away from the channel, started getting some separation. And again, like I said, we finally got that big break out of it. So let's go up now and look at the weekly chart. And on the weekly chart, we have it pulled back until April of 2020. And we see on the weekly chart, the SPY has been trading in that channel since April 2020. And it finally broke out right there. It's tested it just a couple of times. But we see here this week, it has finally broken out and made a decent move on that breakout. My question to my fellow traders, what's your all thoughts on that? Are we headed into a downtrend? Are we headed into a crashing market? I'm gonna go ahead and slide the weekly over a little bit, and it may give a little detail to what we might be in store for. Go ahead and just slide this on over. And let's see, I have to kind of decrease it there. I want to try to get this full channel in there. Okay, there we go. So we go back to, this is August 2015. It's on the weekly chart. We started testing this lower area of this channel, and this had always been the upper region of the channel. So from August 15 up until January, I guess we can call it February, January, end of January, early February, we get this sell-off. We get this sell-off on the market. Let's see. So we'll say February 17th, 2020. And we finally got back recovering March 30, 2020. So almost a month and a half sell-off. Sold off for a month and a half. Came back up. Kind of came back somewhat testing. Came back up. Pushed out. Kind of traded at the upper. And then it started using this channel as its level from April 2020 up until we finally busted out of it. So almost 2 years. So if you got in right here at 250, you had a good ride. Had a good ride, especially right up and through here. You might have sold off right there, depending on where. If you're playing this as a weekly trade, core trade, you might have sold it right there. But if you were bold and you just rode this out, that was a good 2-year ride. So my question is, are we headed towards that same sell-off? Could we be looking at about a month and a half of the SPY kind of pulling back or selling off, if we are to use technical analysis? Technical analysis is something that I love. I love the stock market just because you can kind of see what the stock was doing in the past. And now I go ahead and pull this one over on the daily, just so we can kind of get that same picture, and see exactly what it did. And like I said, it's that same channel that's on the weekly. It would come down, test it, wouldn't push it all the way back up, but it would just test it. I'm curious. I'm gonna extend this one over. Let's see what it does. Nope. So that one is running down. That one. That's that upper one there. That didn't do what I wanted it to do. I'm gonna unedit that so we can keep it in that one there. But I'm sure if I pull this back and I put a trend line right there, it would probably intersect, and it would have been a trend line. Yep, it would have been a trend line. So it traded upper half. This was the lower half. Finally broke out, came up, and got too big for itself and sold off. So again, like I said, are we headed towards this same big sell-off? And this was that same area. So if you saw this happen, I don't think that wouldn't been a good area to get back in at, if you were trading this at that time, because it hadn't transitioned. But we do see here that it has set a higher low right here. Came up, set a higher high, and another higher low. And again, from this point here, we had started an uptrend and traded in this channel, and it hadn't looked back in 2 years. So what's y'all's thoughts on that? Do you think that we heading towards a sell-off? And if so, do you think it's gonna follow past patterns and pull back for a month and a half before it recovers? And then will we see another 2-year run? Will this be a good opportunity to look at going long on the SPY once it does recover? Because we did see that it did sell off in the past, and it did recover and come back strong. So just curious to get you all's opinion on that. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this one short. I'm still a little under the weather. So I'm going to go ahead and make me some green tea with some lemon and honey in it. And we'll see you back in the market on Monday. All right, peace.